everyone. Finally, my apologies for the massive delay here. Evelyn has just gotten back, has logged on to the Roll20, and we are about ready to go. So in a couple of moments, I will swap over the scene. I will sort out where my Discord is supposed to be located on my other monitor. Hopefully it's in the right place for all dice rolls. And we will recap and catch up since we've not actually played the game for the last 2 weeks because scheduling and stuff. So, I'm going to blitz you guys over just now.
Right, so when he switches back to us, we're all screaming.
Absolutely not. I heard that, you bastard. You're not pulling a Liam on me. Absolutely not.
It's okay, guys. I have something here. Boom! Place your bets.
Place your bets for TPK. What the hell is this? Let me open
We'll
this.
click and find out.
Oh, I fucking hate you so much. I am.
Do you want to share with the class?
I have no idea what's going on.
Neither
It's
do I.
normal for me.
I fucking hate you, Kayla. I fucking hate you so much.
I couldn't get the Kinkos this morning to fucking put it on the bottom of a cup, but... You'd be amazed how much conjured booze you give to an alcoholic cleric and he'll make memes for you. Woosa.
You're gonna be the fucking Sam Riegel of this fucking campaign, you know that?
Oh, I fucking hope so.
I'm loving Scott's face on the stream right now. Just doing these yoga breathing exercises.
I need to because I'm gonna fucking TPK this entire party in a few fucking minutes. Right. Focus. Concentrate. I can't get that image out of my head. I fucking hate you so much. See, this is where we should be fucking talking about sponsors and shit like that. While I'm just struggling to fucking exist right now.
Normal sponsor this.
My God, look how your face matches that picture now.
Whatever
You're
Diana's
that red.
drinking, that's our sponsor.
Alright, cool. Diana has disadvantage on every single roll she makes for the rest of the night.
Actually,
Sweet.
I have been told by my local meme lord that he had to actually digitally redden your face even more to make it funnier.
I fucking wait. Who did this?
Also,
Who did this?
that's
It better not. It better not been fucking Foley.
No, it wasn't Foley. It was fucking Ambrose.
Ah.
Ambrose, my fucking meme lord. I even gave it away. I said, you know how much conjured booze I had to make for an alcoholic cleric?
Cleric. Yeah, I realize that now.
My brother in Torm.
Right, last time we played 2 weeks ago. Moving swiftly onwards. Evelyn, you weren't here for this, so I will go over it in as much detail as quickly as I possibly can. You had successfully managed to navigate your way through the tunnel system, avoiding the insectoid creatures, and come across Tsuri in his little wooden hangout, his little hideaway in case something bad happened to him and his wife. His wife had unfortunately perished to the Nabasu creatures that you had successfully managed to slay not a few hours beforehand. Before he gestured you to a emergency ladder system that he had installed, which traveled upwards for a solid half hour through the earth, managing to break the surface, where you made your way southwest closer to the Gatal swamp. After setting up camp, Neftari and Coralina decided that before everyone else woke up, they were going to wander off back to the ladder system, sneak their way down. Sneak all the way down and steal the topaz dagger that Tsuri had kept on his person because it was magical, quote unquote. After successfully managing to levitate the dagger out of its scabbard over to your person, Corlina, and sneak your way back up the ladder, Neftari is now currently in the possession of one topaz dagger. You proceeded southwest, spanning several days towards through the Katal swamp, where you came across a very large opening. It was a flat plain that had a small indent further south in of the location, which had a settled swamp water. And as you took a few minutes to take in your surroundings, you realized that this was actually where you had first encountered and engaged the Hydras in combat. You actually spotted one of the Hydras approaching the nesting area, where Talar, rolling a relatively decent animal handling check, managed to pass over the egg that she had been carrying back to the Hydra, which it took gently and waddled away into the swampland, the marshland, before its mate came trudging through the tree line, almost standing on. Actually, no, I think it successfully stood on. Yeah, it successfully stood on Victorious. However, did not fight. You successfully went through an initiative count without fighting something before you headed to the north to Exum's camp, where you set up for the night. Some shenanigans ensued, where Temple, you, during your inanimate state, noticed Coralina kind of make her way over to Neftari and gently blow into his ear.
Very intoxicated.
Very intoxicated, Coralina, yes. The next morning, after a little bit more discussion, you kind of realize that it was a very affectionate gesture for an Air Genasi. It was the equivalent of a kiss, essentially. And you blurted that out to the entire fucking party. Afterwards, you managed to skip ahead to Stilben. You made your way back to the Clasp's HQ, where you spoke to Joga, explained the situation, what happened after the Abishai attack, what happened in the Topaz Blade Inn, how you followed Suri into the cave system, made your way up to Zafra and spoke to the Erashari, dealt with the genie that was there, and then made your way back into the cave system, continuing after Tsuri. Found him in his little hideout, his wife slain, her soul lost to the Nabasu, and explained the situation that it may be possible, if the threat in a cry is real and potentially making its way over to Taldore, that the Clasp and the Myriad may be able to form an alliance. From what you can tell, Joga may have contemplated the option, however, ordered a few of his men to go seek out Tsuri and bring him back to the Clasp HQ, dead or alive. He then gestured you out of his office into the next room, where you had previously seen a couple of healers, from what you could gather, rushing in and out. And upon a makeshift gurney, essentially, a couple of desks pushed together in order to support a being, you saw the extremely emaciated, weakened, battered and bruised form of Aeron Drigbin, who, from what Neftari was able to determine, is in some kind of coma. We don't know when or if he will wake up. Now, after dealing with the shenanigans with the Myriad within Stilben, and the information provided to you by Tsuri that the caravan had recently left Whitestone, your options are to head up to Westruun and potentially lead the caravan off in an attempt to capture or destroy it before it moves on to its next location. Or if you miss it, to head up to Whitestone where you will be able to gather some more information in regards to the Myriad's caravan and hopefully find out where they're going next and catch them before you lose them again. And that's where we'll pick up.
The last thing was Talar wanting to do a greater restoration, but she needs diamond dust worth at least 100 gold pieces.
100 gold pieces, that's correct. You are in amongst the a thieves guild, so you could potentially go asking some of the members if they have such a thing or where they could be located.
Temple, have you still got that book on rocks? Did you find anything that looked like a diamond?
I found something, but I don't know that it was a diamond or anything. It was shiny.
Oh, was that the one we threw at the monsters back in the cave?
Oh yeah, yes it was. Do you think it was diamonds? Could go back and get it. Although that would be horribly inefficient given the distance.
Yeah, we're in the Guild of Thieves. There's a far bigger chance that somebody has some here. I mean, it was shiny.
And it's as good a place as any to find some diamonds. Oh,
That's probably the perfect place.
I'll gladly head out. I need to replenish my arrows.
I'm going to
Can
remain here.
I come with you, Victorless? I need to pick up a few things because I'm sure you want your bedroll back at some point, especially if we get in colder climates. I'll
Yeah.
offer a smile.
I don't see why not. I'll take another swig on the bottle that I've still got that was conjured earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else?
I'm gonna go around the guild asking if everybody has any diamonds or knows where we can steal some. Or buy them if you prefer. But I mean, we're in the Thieves Guild.
Okay, so Victorialis and Carolina, you guys are planning on heading out to see about purchasing some more equipment for your travels. Neftari, you're going to see about getting some diamonds or diamond dust. Temple, what were you doing? Sorry.
Given my incredible expertise as a trainee in rock science, there's probably a word for that. I'm going to follow Neftari and make sure he gets a good deal on these shiny white rocks.
Okay. And Talar, you said that you were
It's 17
sticking.
intelligence. It's called geology.
What?
It's called geology.
Geology.
Okay, so we're going to go learn about geography.
And Talar, you said that you were staying put in the guild, yeah?
She's staying put and watching over Aeron.
Okay. Right, so we'll start off with Victorialis and Carolina. Are you guys staying within the Clasp, or are you guys heading out in Stilben to find the equipment that you're needing?
Well, I was hoping we'd be able to get it all down here.
I'll say the four of you all head out at once, glancing back to just see Talar kind of Talar, you're assisting the healers as best they can, and putting on some ointments and bandaging up some of Aeron's open wounds or the ones that are like changing bandages on wounds that are still bleeding.
Yeah,
And
she's happy to be doing that.
as the four of you head out, I mean, well, there's not any immediate sign of an individual who'd be selling any equipment. You would have to ask around, and there are plenty of the class members around.
So, what do you need? Bedroll?
I mean, I also wouldn't mind looking around at spells, but that's just me. So I'm kind of looking to you here. Also, you aren't gonna say anything, are you?
I'm gonna say anything.
Yeah, you aren't gonna keep talking about erogenous zones, are you? Because that was really weird.
No, not down here.
Okay.
I grab the nearest Thieves Guild member I can find, and I'm gonna need arrows, basic travel supplies, bedroll, maybe some diamond dust. Anywhere you can recommend?
And the erogenous zones. What?
As you like the members like briskly walking past you as you grab on to their arm and turn them around. As is with most of the class members, they have pitch black clothing on with a hood up over their forehead and a mask that covers up to their nose, so you can only see what is like a small slit over their eyes. It's just a pair of piercing emerald green eyes looking back at you. The voice kind of. Well, personally, there's nothing that I can tell you, but head down the hall and take a left. Jacques, he has he's our fence. He can sell anything for a reasonable price.
Appreciate your help, brother.
He just gives you a curt nod before you let go of his arm, and he again begins to briskly walk away.
Down the hall.
Okay. You head down. There's a lot more activity than what you've seen in the last few visits to the HQ, where you've all been privy to. Your previous visits, there have been a fair few members that have been in and out, but they've all been kind of quiet, keeping to themselves, not really talking to you or any of the other members. But now, like after you've made your way back in and spoken to Joga, there seems to be a lot more activity. People are actively moving around and talking amongst each other, so something is happening. As you head down the hall, you glance into a room on your right. As you walk in, it's just essentially piled with crap. Everything, like anything that you would need in your mundane life, from cutlery, plates, pots, pans, vases, like any random assortment of crap that you could come across is just scattered all over this room. In the back, you can hear stuff clattering and dropping to the ground, and just a gruff voice going, "Ah, you mother! Where the fuck did I put it?" They don't seem to have noticed you yet.
Hello?
Oh, aye, I'll be right with you. You initially hear clattering and crunching, a couple of stuff that like books and plates and pens and quills just drop from a large pile to your front left, before a dwarven male individual kind of clambers over the pile of crap, topples over, and he tumbles along with it. You just hear him, ah! Drops and just thuds onto the ground. Just, that's gonna fucking hurt. As he stands up and starts rubbing his right ass cheek. He walks over to a small desk, just takes his arm and just scatters the contents that are atop it across the room, just nonchalantly, not caring what's above it.
Was it books or anything?
There are a few books, random pieces of parchment, what looks to be a scabbard.
I cringe inwardly.
Alright, the name is Jacques. I am what these vagabonds call their fits. If you need something or want rid of something, I can probably do either for you. So, how can I help? And he just kind of crosses his arms and leans up on the desk towards you.
Well, my good man, I was wondering whether you could furnish me with some arrows.
Arrows. He turns around and looks up to one of the large piles of trash that's on the right. Yeah. You'd have to give me a couple of minutes.
I mean, is it in a quiver or something?
No. The amount of shit that people bring in here now, with the most sudden jump in activity, they're just bringing me anything and everything. Look, I mean, look at this. And he leans over and pulls up a cracked clay pot that you could guess once contained a flower of some kind, but it's now just cracked, chipped, it's completely empty. What the fuck am I going to do with this? It's a fucking pot. Just launches it behind him. You just hear as it just shatters off in the distance. What was that, Nathari?
Who steals a broken vase? I thought people only stole things that are actually worth stealing.
That's what I thought. But apparently, Evelyn, can you mute your mic, please?
Sorry.
Thank you. Sorry. That's what I thought. But apparently, like, these newbies are just getting anything they can get their hands on that doesn't belong to them. And then they're bringing it here. And
Yeah,
then,
I've heard sometimes you have to seek professional help for something like that.
well, maybe the leader just needs to actually, bring in some
Like I
decent
said,
needs.
Like I said, professional help.
Professional. Aye, sounds about right, lass. But yeah, I could probably muster up some arrows if you need. How many are you looking for?
What have you got? 26 if you've got them.
26. That's an oddly specific number.
Well, I can only hold so many.
All right, yeah. He, like, kind of leans over, grabs one of the, like, a torn bit of parchment off the floor. This'll do. Picks up a, like, what seems to be like a bit of charcoal and just scribbles down 26 arrows in charcoal. Anything else? What about you, big man? As he turns to you, Neftari. What are you looking for?
Diamond and erogenous zones.
The what?
I don't know what they are, but apparently we need them.
If you need diamonds and your erogenous zones, well, I can't help you with that second one. That's, I mean, you could explore yourself, I guess. But I didn't swing that way. Sorry. Diamonds, I can definitely help you there. Drawer number, let me see, D2. Pulls open a drawer on the desk and you just hear clattering as it comes to a sudden stop. How many are you looking for?
Well, how many do you have? We need quite a lot. How much are they worth?
Well,
Are they real?
Of course they're real. Don't question the quality of my product.
Well, it's quite important that they are real, you know? And, they're not just shiny.
Hi, I'm just going to sell you a glass bauble and claim that it's a diamond and take you for all you've got. How does that sound?
That's what usually happens when people buy diamonds, isn't it?
Have you purchased diamonds recently?
No.
So how do you know that?
Because I used to sell this shiny glass all the time until.
Well, perhaps the shit that you sell and the shit that I sell are two completely different things. Now here, kind of leans over, grabs out a small handful and drops 5 diamonds on the desk of varying different sizes. How's that look? Actually,
It looks like a shiny rock to me.
there's multiple of them. Kind of picks one of them up and puts it up to the light and just looks over it. That's a cute Sarconia. Launches it off to the side. That's worthless. Here, that one. That'll do. 5 diamonds. How's that sound?
Well, we'll let the really big man have a look at that. What do you think, Temple?
Well, of course, using my world-renowned on Open's book, rocks. Let me take a look, and I'm gonna pick the biggest one. I'm gonna have a real close look at it with my average eyes. Have themselves possibly diamonds. Who knows? Who knows where this will go?
Okay, for this, I would like you to go ahead and roll me an investigation check, please.
I feel like this is going to end badly.
Not
Turns out
necessarily.
a bunch of zircons.
As you you pick up the biggest one. How big would it be? It's about the size of a golf ball, actually. As you pick it up, kind of lightly toss it in the air and catch it a few times. It's got a bit of weight to it. Ping. Thank you, phone. Pop you over there out the road. It's got a bit of hefty weight to it. And kind of just take a look at it, and as you've gone over your book on shiny rocks, you can gather that from what you can tell anyway, it appears to be a diamond. It looks to be worth about 2, maybe 300 gold pieces.
I'm no expert on diamonds, but this looks good to me. Maybe it's worth 300 gold pieces. Definitely very erogenous. Put it back on the table.
Jacques just kind of looks from New Temple down to Neftari.
DM, would you allow me that I said last game I temporarily borrowed Temple's rock book last session to basically leaf through the portion about diamonds and basically how they're made. Would you allow me to inspect the diamonds as well?
I will, but it'll be at disadvantage because you weren't really looking to figure out how they look and what they're worth. You were looking at more how they're formed. So
Yeah,
you may have glanced over it, so I'll let you do that at disadvantage. Well, 17. Yeah, as you kind of you kind of reach over and pick it up. Again, bit hefty, decent size, and from what you can remember, the bigger diamonds aren't usually worth that much. It's the smaller diamonds, the more precious looking ones that are worth more than the bigger counterparts. So this one, Temple's estimate is probably about right. You're probably looking at 2, maybe 300 gold pieces, but it would be the smaller ones that are currently on the desk that you'd really want to keep your eye on.
Actually, Temple, I think the more sought after ones are these smaller ones here. You notice on the big one, it's big, but there's an inclusion here, here, and here. It's mostly from the coal not properly adhering to its own crystalline structure.
I had no idea you were such an expert in erogenous diamonds. I've not got to that part of the
Will you quit
book.
using the word erogenous, please?
I don't know what it means.
We can talk
I
later.
assume it means grand and wonderful. To enjoy talking about it.
We'll talk later.
Now, you said that you would assume this thing would be worth 2 to 300 gold pieces, right? I'll give it to you for 300. How about that? This one. And he kind of pushes it forward on the desk slightly, takes the other 4 and slides them back towards him. I'll give you the others, of course, but, I have to gauge how much they're worth and make sure I'm getting my money's worth.
Well, they didn't say... I think your requirements don't have to call for it to be perfect, yeah?
I'm looking to dust. I think we're good.
Yeah. We don't need to have it intact, so, I mean, inclusions included. It's still gonna serve the same purpose, I would think.
Alright, so that one will be 300 gold pieces. Do you want the other ones?
I don't see why not. What sort of price are you offering for them?
Oh, let's see. And he kind of starts picking through the smaller ones. One's about it's about half the size of a golf ball. One's one's a little oddly shapen. Looks kind of in the shape of a piece of gum.
You can never have too many diamonds, though. I mean, there are paladin spells, for example, that allow resurrection.
Aye, that would be called Revivify. That's 300 gold pieces worth of diamonds. Well, there you go. That's your bringing one of your friends back to life if something bad happens right there. But let me see. Taking a look at through all of these, how much? I'll give you the other 4 here for 860 gold pieces.
Money.
Okay, so that's 1160 altogether. I can get that
1160 in
towards.
total, aye.
Few other things. Need a
You go
A
to
few-
1160.
wooden or tin cups if you have them.
Sorry, say that again?
Cups.
Just cups.
Something to
Just
put liquid in. Yeah. Don't have to be anything fancy, just functional.
I probably. I mean, with all the shit that's been brought in, kind of leans over and grabs a small wooden tankard just off the floor. I like this.
Yeah, anything like that. A few of those. 4 or
few
5
of
of those.
4 or
Great.
5 of those. All right. Pops it down on the desk. I could probably scrounge around and find a few of them, and the arrows, and anything else at all.
The bedroll?
Bedroll. Like, you didn't have a bedroll?
I don't usually go out in the wilderness.
Huh. Okay.
It was weird. I had to share.
Kind of just like glances over to you with a kind of disturbed look on his face. Okay.
Not like that. We slept in shifts.
All right. Whatever floats your boat, lass. I don't see one in the immediate vicinity. Tell you what, I will give this all to you in total. The cups, the arrows, the bedroll, for 1,200 gold pieces. How does that sound?
Sounds pretty
And-
good to me.
Might I thumb? You said there was a stack over on the left side, yeah?
Yes,
Of
they're
books?
they're essentially like 2 large stacks. Like think Wally towers of trash. Basically like that, except they're not
Of
really.
books.
They're not squares. They're just piles of shit on top of one another.
Might I thumb through these tomes and see if I find any I like?
I mean, I don't know if there's anything special amongst them, but you're
Never
happy
hurts
to
to
take a
look.
look.
All right. She'll walk over and starting from the bottom, she's like, thumbing through like the titles. They're like probably on the spines.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a investigation check for this. Labyrinth. 23. Yeah, no, you're able. So, what are you looking for in particular in regards to these the tomes that you're
Anything
looking
that-
for?
Okay, so anything that might stand out, either title-wise or anything that might be remotely towards arcane or any, a fun subgenre of that, or any of the Easter eggs we talked about previously.
Okay. Okay, yeah, you find 3 books that do manage to kind of catch your eye. With the 23, there's no real magical books. Like there's no tomes of spells or any scrolls or anything like that that you're able to find, unfortunately. You do find a couple of books that catch your eye. One of them is titled "My Warden, My Lover," book 1 in the Starcross series. The second one is called "Precious Treasures: An Arcanus Tell All," and the last book is Booze and Bad Decisions. The Tales of L. Lent.
It's Furio's great grandfather.
No. Not at all.
How much do you usually charge for tomes?
Well, it depends on what you've got there. Let me see them.
I'm gonna pick up 3 random ones.
Those 3 or just 3 random tomes?
No, 3 random ones.
3 random ones.
I still have my pride.
Let me see here.
And then I will attempt to cast message
Uh-huh.
to the fence.
Yeah, to Jacques.
Okay. I think it's like 25 words or less.
Yeah.
These aren't the ones. I will be back later. Please, for the love of God, not in front of my party.
Like, he's looking through and you all see him just physically stop. Glances up to you, Carolina. Just... I'd say maybe 5 gold for the 3 of them.
Okay. Can I
Are you
get
guys
my
paying
purse and be
attention to
back
the
later?
books that Carolina has picked up at
What were they again?
all? No, if you pick
Wait,
no,
is
because
it-
she's picked up
wait a
three
minute.
like Kayla has picked up 3 random books from the pile, but are not the ones that I've told her. But are you guys paying attention to the books that she has picked up at all, or are you just letting her do her own thing?
I've not.
No, okay. That's right. Sorry, what was that? Were you paying attention?
I'm kind of curious.
Okay, and Victorious?
I don't know, I'd be checking what she's doing. I don't know I'd be paying attention to the actual books that she's picking up necessarily.
All right, cool. Nathari, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
What you got there? Spell books?
9.
No, they seem pretty mundane, but I mean,
Pretty
terrible things happen
mundane.
when-
As she says mundane, Jacques kind of turns the books towards you, Neftari, and as you glance down, you read the title on one of the spines. It says "Taming the Wilds: A Gunslinger / Ranger Romance." It's smut that she has picked up.
Oh. Okay.
Wow, that is dirty. Still reading my book about rocks.
Nope. Just throw that book away. Nope.
Nope, not that one. It just scatters
I
onto the floor.
must have
It
misread.
flips open. Some of the pages like dog ear and buckle in on each other.
I'm gonna pick it up. What on earth? I'm gonna hold out the center.
Temple kind of you stride over and pick up the book and look at it, and as you read the
I
cover,
swear to God, if there's a centerfold that falls out, done.
there's no
I'm
centerfold.
I'm turning the book upside down, regardless of what position.
You
I'm
open
really
it
not
up.
sure which way to orient it.
You open it up, and it's nothing but 2 pages of words in common. Seems to be some kind of story. As you read through like a paragraph on the left hand page, it's going into details about a
Govian maid.
Sorry, you keep cutting
A
out, by the way. Evelyn.
A lusty Dragovian.
No, it's a because it is the one that was just tossed aside. It's the story of a human gunslinger and how he seems to be working with his half elven partner in a forest of sorts and trying to learn the ways of how to hunt wildlife with their bear companion.
Sounds interesting, but not for me. Back to my rocks.
Campbell just tosses the book over shoulder, just scatters onto the floor. Again, pages just get crumpled up, some dog ear. You swear, Corleone, you hear one of the pages rip, and you can just you cringe
is crying.
internally, like not the book.
Interest. It says here that limestone is very brittle, but how do we fit all the limes in there?
All right. So, is there anything else that you guys are looking to purchase?
Yeah, there was actually. You wouldn't happen to have some pixie dust, would you?
Pixie dust. Not really come by that too often. Kind of starts rummaging around in the drawers. You hear them slide open and slam shut multiple times before he sits back up. No, anything that I will be able to sell on quite a regular basis and normally keep close by. Pixie dust. No, I've not seen pixie dust in a very long time.
What about heartroot?
Alright. I think I've got a couple of them somewhere. Hi. He kind of he gets up and walks over behind the right hand pile. You hear some rummaging. There's as a large clump of the trash on the right hand pile just kind of collapses down. You hear fuck. Comes back around. He has 3 red, like deep red roots, almost like vines in his left hand, and his right hand is just 3 roots.
Smashing. Just need some pixie dust now. What is pixie dust anyway? Do you have to grind pixies up for it, or
Typically, it's the material that is left behind when a pixie bats its wings. It's a fine powder. They just call it pixie dust. It's used in a lot of recipes for alchemy.
that's what I wanted it for. Healing potions.
Healing potions. Leans over, drops a large wooden crate that is just scattered with different shades of red potions. Why didn't you just say so?
Oh, do you have any healing potions?
No. And he's just pointing at the crate. No, I don't have any.
Can I inspect Neftari for damage? I think his eyes might be broken.
That's what you doing, Natara?
I resist. I'll take. So, what potions are these? They're all different colors. What are they? Potion of healing, potion of superior healing. What have we got?
You can't. He starts like to pick through them all. Some of them have got like yellow bands around them. Some have got blue. One has a white. Right. So I have 7 normal healing potions. 4 greater. And that's 1 superior.
Take the superior ones and the greater ones, then please.
Oh, superior ones. That'll be 2,000 gold.
Okay.
Neftari, I'm assuming
does
you're
seem
not
rather a
planning
lot.
to keep these potions all to yourself.
No, they're for everyone. Don't worry.
Exactly. So let's all contribute what we can.
So yeah, I usually pick up most of the gold. I don't know whether anybody noticed.
As a side note, Talar is happy to contribute when she finds out about all this.
I'll take 500 gold.
Evelyn, can you mute your mic, please? Thank you. I don't know what that's in the background. But...
Take
I paid for a load of the
gold.
stuff. I don't get paid for the smut.
500 gold, and I hand it over to Neftari.
Was a
Alright, so you're buying the potions as well, yeah?
Yep.
Alright, cool.
Four superior and one.
4 greater, 1 superior. Carolina, you have your bedroll. Jacques kind of turns to you, Victorless. Like, you guys going to be sticking around long? Because it's probably going to take me a few minutes to find the 26 arrows that you need. And 4 more of those tankards.
We'll we'll be here for a while. Return in about 30 minutes, an hour.
30 minutes will probably be enough.
Excellent. Good doing business with you. See you soon.
Alright. Yeah, like it gets up and sort of wanders back behind the pile. You hear a ting, and almost like Looney Tunes style, he slowly looks up. Ah, shit! As I large the right hand pile, just.
Can I? Well, fuck.
It just caves in and just topples on top of him. There's a grumbling noise that's extremely muffled before a couple of bits of trash just scatter out like a little, like just burst all over the place as his head pokes out from the rubbish. I hate this place. And he almost starts swimming through the rubbish. You guys have anything to do in the next half hour while Jacques finding your stuff, or?
Actually, I wanted to ask Jock for a sheath for a dagger as well.
Okay, yeah, you're able to do so. As he kind of breaches the surface of the rubbish, asking for a sheath. He kind of, I'll add that to my list. Where's my list? Fuck it. And starts rummaging through. About half an hour later, you guys return. Unless you guys have any plans to do in the meantime.
Well, Talar, did you want to attempt that spell now? I'm not sure how we're going to grind down diamonds, but
It's supposed to be diamond dust, so
precisely, we're going to need to turn these things into dust.
Well, I've got an alchemist
I don't think all of
kit.
them need to be, but she needs at least enough dust that's worth 100 gold pieces. So
Yeah, I've got an alchemy kit. Pass me one of them diamonds. I'll try and grind it up in the pestle and wood.
Go
How
ahead and
about
roll
I
me an
try
intelligence
grinding
check.
them?
What check?
An intelligence check.
It's quite obvious Neftari isn't that intelligent.
Yeah, I'm well aware of that, and I think everyone else is well aware of that as well. But with an 18, the moment those words leave your lips, you kind of stop and think to yourself that maybe a mortar and pestle wouldn't be sufficient enough to grind up a diamond. You'd need something a little bit tougher than that.
Why don't I try grinding
kind of
them up?
joking. But we don't need a mortar and pestle really, because we got the greatest grinder the world has ever known. Temple.
I
Fetch your
thought you'd never ask.
your delicate little fingers here.
Hey Scott, did you mention offhandedly who was the author of said gunslinger ranger romance?
I did not. No.
Okay.
Well, presumably the larger diamond will be less dense and therefore easier to crush, so let's say I give it a try.
Yeah, just hold on 1 second. Can I look around and see if there's like a tarpaulin or a leather, some kind of material that I can cut a piece off or pinch away?
Yeah, there's there's a few different pieces of leather scattered around that you could easily just swipe if no one's paying attention. Go ahead and roll me a sleight of hand check at advantage.
and have you guys actually made it back to where Talar is, or were you guys just still out and about somewhere?
They're on their way back to you, but they're trying to figure out how to grind down this diamond.
Okay.
16. Yeah, no, you're able. Just like like there's enough commotion going on like by the fence and like all of the members like rushing around that you could easily swipe up like a square meter worth of leather, kind of fold it up and keep it close by, no one noticing you.
Cool. I'll head back to the group. Take my short sword and cut a reasonable size
Mm-hmm.
square of this. All right, before we start smashing this thing to pieces, Temple, why don't we put it in here? I'll hold out the piece of leather for the diamonds to go into.
Okay.
What diamond to go into?
You doing all the diamonds or just one of them?
Well, if the big one's worth 300 and we smash that to pieces, then we've got plenty of dust, haven't we?
That's up to you guys.
That's
Sorry?
not a bad idea, to be fair. I would definitely not smash all of them, though. We could maybe use them later for resurrection.
How much, like, the smaller ones that we've got, how much are they worth each?
You don't know.
Roughly?
Like Jacques only gave you a price. You guys never actually checked the small ones. You just know that from what Carolina has said, told you about the diamonds, that they're going to be worth worth more than what the big one is. Anyway, that's for sure.
Okay. Everyone in favour of smashing the big one?
Seems fine.
Is there anything in my book that might help me determine if I'm going to have any trouble with this? Anything on my...
I mean, the only like you know that from your book that diamonds are formed under immense heat and pressure from chunks of coal. So it might be possible that it's
Looking
going to.
at the diamond, do I know as Temple, and can I see where the point of weakness is in the diamond?
Go ahead and roll me an
They break it
investigation check.
in a certain direction. They break, don't they?
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check. Unnatural 20. Yeah, no, you like. There's a couple of them. Like as Carolina pointed out to you when you were initially looking at over the diamond, there are several like sections of the diamond where the coal itself didn't reach the correct temperature, or there was not enough pressure, so the coal never actually formed into diamond, and is kind of like there's kind of welts in the side. We think that with enough pressure to the right place, you could probably crack it, and once it's cracked, it should be easy enough to grind down into dust. But you don't know how much of a hit it's going to take to crack the diamond. That's for sure.
At the very least, I think I should use both hands to crush it. Here we go.
I'd like to hold out my pestle from the pestle and mortar just to try and catch the fragments that I'm expecting to come.
It's like so it's been put into like a kind of leather, like a unfastened leather pouch that Victorious has made. So when Temple crushes it down, none of the dust will actually be able to escape.
I don't plan on it being fragments. Hopefully, this will be dust. Let's see.
Go ahead
shall we?
and roll me a strength check, please.
But past the whiskey, Vic. This should be interesting.
16. You kind of press down, like hold like the diamond in the palm of your hand and just press down. You can slowly feel it give, then all of a sudden there's a. You pull your palm apart, and as you open up the little pouch, diamond's still intact. There's just a large crack that's split and spiderwebbed through the center.
Shall we try the heel of my foot to finish it off?
Yeah, let's find a sturdy rock to place this on and put some weight on it at Temple.
Sounds like a plan.
So we're in. Is what is it like cave structure down here, isn't it?
No,
Undergroundy
it's
kind of?
no, it's like a built like man-made section. It's kind of like been converted from a sewer system.
But we could find a solid piece of stone ground to put this thing on.
Yeah, oh yeah, no,
solid
like you
ground.
could probably just like lean over and put it on like the ground before you, and then just stand on it if that's what you want to try and do.
Then I'm gonna do exactly that, and I guess I'm going to grind my heel into it.
All right, go ahead and roll me a strength check at advantage, please. 22. Right, as you you put it down, like you make sure to you kind of twist the leather so that it doesn't like unfold when you put any pressure on it. Put your heel on and just put all of your weight onto one foot, and all of a sudden you just hear as the diamond then like crunches and splinters. You drop about an inch. You grind your heel a couple of times. You hear take your foot off, pick it up, and you can really say it's dust. It's not really fine enough for it to be dust, but it might work.
How does this look? I could try grinding it further if you like, if it's needed. I mean, how does a magical spell define dust anyway?
Let me take a quick look here, actually. Neftari and Corlina, can I both get you to roll me Arcana checks? Neftari, I mean, it's just a material component. I mean, it's close enough to being dust. Should work. Don't see any issues with that. Corlina with the 24. A material component can be very specific. And there's not the line between dust and shards is very thin.
I'd probably go a few more times with it, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, you feel a lot safer going on once or twice more to grind it down a lot more fine than what it currently is to guarantee it's dust. So at the moment, it could be considered diamond shards.
Well, let's just be careful we don't break the leather bag. Hope one of you is ready to scoop up diamond sand and diamond dust. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna try again, please.
I mean, do you want a double bag? I mean, if you guys are okay with the whiskey disappearing.
We can make it disappear.
Whiskey infused diamond dust.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I could make another bag to put it in, so you could.
So I've got more leather here. I'll take my sword out and slice off another quarter of the
Okay.
sheet that I've got. And
Yeah.
Alcoholism weighs out.
We could use
No,
that leather
the
satchel.
alcohol is
we
gone
the
at this
last go
point. It
around.
only lasts an hour.
Oh, is
remember?
it? Oh.
It only lasts an hour. It's been about half an hour, as you've been going about your business, and it's been about half an hour beforehand since it's been summoned. So the alcohol is gone at this point. As you cut up the second piece, you set up the bag again. Temple, go ahead and roll me another strength check at advantage, please, as you set the bags down, drive your heel into it, and start grinding away with your heel. 23, you just hear it, the crunching of the diamond shards underfoot, and you do this for a solid couple of minutes before you relent and pick up the small bag. And as you open up the two layers, Carolina, as you glance into it, there is a small pile of very fine diamond particulates, which can contribute to being dust. It'd be classed as dust.
It is classified as dust. Now, if the material components decide to be a little bit more finicky than that, I can't help.
Well, we've done what we can. What we can do now is hope Talar can make it work.
We should try this with other materials and see what happens. Maybe another time.
Maybe another time.
Alright, so you guys returning to Talar?
Yeah, head back to Talar. I'm gonna take the leather pouch. Neftari, your the pot, your mortar pot. This is 300 diamonds of dust. Talar, you needed 100.
So you guys are actually back to her at this point?
Yeah,
they've
just come
like
back,
the
Okay.
the group's walked in the door. Victorious is offering you the diamond dust.
So this is 300 worth?
Yeah,
So that's
so
what
we
we
need
paid
to.
for it. You know, we didn't buy it much.
I should only need 100 worth, but I'm not sure how to separate this out to make it that amount.
Let's be on the safe side then. And I'm going to pour half of what's in the leather pouch into Neftari's
Okay.
pot.
Alright. Pass the other half over to Talar.
Yep. While things are going on, I'll start cutting a strip of leather to use as a tie for the
Aye.
leather pouch that I've made. So
Yeah,
it's
so the
safer.
pouch itself, like when you first set it up, you didn't like it was just like a makeshift pouch. But now you've got some time to yourself. You start with the tip of your short sword, start piercing holes into the which would essentially be the lip or the seal of the bag. And after you cut a very long thin strip, you start to snake it through the sequence of holes that you've pierced. Eventually, pull it taut, kind of pulls the opening together and makes a very solid sealed leather pouch. Two of them. Talar, as you receive the like the small pouch of diamond dust, you set it down next to Aeron. You're going to cast Greater Restoration, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay. You clasp to your holy symbol and offer a prayer to Tselun. You feel a soft violet light begin to warm the immediate area around you, and everyone else. You can see this soft violet glow start to emanate from Talar herself. That glow then kind of flows down to the table and washes over Aeron before it slowly just seeps into his form and fades. You see a solid chunk of the diamond dust that was in the pouch just just fizzle up, like it almost goes bright orange for a moment, and there's still a small pile of it left in the pouch as it fizzles away as the spell consumes the 100 gold pieces worth of diamond dust. There's still what you can assume to be about 50 gold pieces worth of diamond dust in the pouch. Didn't consume it all. There is a few moments of silence as you look over to Aeron. His breathing still shallow and ragged before he takes one very deep breath and his head actually starts to roll side to side. He glances around, he kind of rolls his head over to the right and he blinks a few times as he glances over to you all, consciousness returning to him. He just smiles, sighs, closes his eyes, his consciousness slips from him once again. what you can tell, Talara, is you have successfully reduced the exhaustion level of Aeron by 1. You don't know, like, well, you know now that he has woken up, and so he should recover. You have no idea how long it's going to take, though. Could take days, weeks, could be months before he's back up and running. But he is
Here's
conscious. Well, he
a
was.
random question, if it's
Mhm.
okay. So I've currently used up both of my 5th level spell slots,
That you have.
which is what I can use that from. Can she cast that again once she has a full rest? Can she continually do that as long as she has that diamond dust, or is
Yeah,
it something that
as long as you've got the level, the spell slot available, and you've got the material component of the 100 gold worth of diamond dust, you could cast it multiple times.
okay?
You don't
So
know if
there's
it's
no
going to have the same
restriction on.
effect.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
no,
that's
there's no
what I was.
restriction. So if someone so for example, say 2 of your party members got petrified, and they can only be restored by like lesser or greater restoration, you can cast the same spell multiple times in order to um restore them back to health. All you need
Yeah.
though is the material component and enough spell slots to cast it. So
Yeah. My question was casting it the same, multiple times on the same person.
yeah, theoretically,
If it would.
if you were to have a long rest and get your 2 5th level spell slots back and use the other 200 gold pieces worth of diamond dust to cast Greater Restoration on Aeron 2 more times, theoretically it would drop his exhaustion score by another 2 points down to 2. You don't know if it'll have that effect though.
Don't know, but that's okay.
It is possible, but you wouldn't know if it'll do anything until you try it. If you
Right.
try it.
Well, it seems to have worked at least slightly.
Flor's looking a little bit tired, but she has a small smile on her face. She's happier that he has woken up briefly.
I might be able to prepare some spells tonight.
How much of that?
Speaking of preparing spells, perhaps I should hold on to those other intact diamonds. Who
Yeah.
knows? I may need to return the favor to Aeron. He once resurrected me, of course, using the Revivivice.
That does. You still have 200 gold worth left, right?
It's intact diamonds.
I gave that
Different kind of
over
spell.
to you, so it's yours now.
Yeah, so Talar, you still have 200 gold pieces worth of diamond dust on you.
Oh, okay. I thought earlier he said that
No,
he poured half of it or
yeah,
something.
he split it into 2
Okay.
portions, but gave the portions to you. So you still have 200
Okay.
gold pieces worth of diamond dust available to you.
Okay. I'm going to hold on to the rest of this dust. If I can, I will try again tomorrow. See if I can help him further.
Okay. Then what do we do for the rest of the day? What time are we at now, DM? Daytime wise?
Well, you're underground, so you're not really sure. Go ahead and roll me a survival check, please. 19. You're quite attuned to the passage of time. It was kind of hitting like early afternoon when you made it back to Stilvin. It's been a couple of hours since you've spoken to Joga, spotted Aeron, and gone about your business. So you could assume it to be about 3, maybe 4 in the afternoon. So you still have a solid 6 hours before you have to go to catch some shot.
Well, what do we do? Anyone got any business in town they need to attend to?
We go and check out our handiwork on the pub. See what's left of it.
Guess we could. I'd be inviting more trouble, but sounds like they probably turned tail and fled by now, so.
We'll keep our distance.
How much time has passed since us leaving the fence and Talar doing her spell?
It's been about 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Okay. I mean, if you guys want to go on and look ahead, that's fine. I could see if the fence is done procuring your arrows, Vic.
Yeah, I want to pick them up first. I've got 4 left, so if we do run into
It's
any
okay.
trouble,
I can grab them for you. It's no trouble.
it's fine. I'll pick up my cups and my arrows myself. Thank you.
You can pick up that sheep for me if you like.
Okay.
Will do, Neftari. No problem.
These things are heavy. I shall come and help.
I'm going to remain here.
Alright, so is everyone going tagging along with Coralina to go and gather your purchased equipment from the fence?
She tried. She genuinely fucking
She
tried.
tried. I know, and I appreciate your enthusiasm.
Yeah, I'm literally whatever Carolina gets up to, I'm just gonna turn up and get my arrows, pick
I
up the
can't
sheaf and a
wait
few
for the
cups.
shenanigans.
There might not be any shenanigans if Cora doesn't get her way.
Oh, those don't be shenanigans. It'll just be not what she was expecting.
Okay, so you guys are heading back to the fence, yeah?
Yeah. I'll be like either in the middle of our little group of 3 or slightly behind.
Mm-hmm.
While we're on the way, Neftari, could you hand me those diamonds, please?
Sure. They're in my pestle, aren't they? So, have you got a bag to put them in?
I do have some means of storage, don't I, DM?
Yeah,
I've got items.
Pretty sure you've
like
got a
pack, a
backpack.
pouch or something. Something like that.
You've
That
got a
bucket?
backpack.
Of course. Where I keep all of my spell materials.
But you haven't got magic pockets.
I don't need magic pockets, they're only small diamonds.
Temple, do you want me to make you another pouch? I'm getting quite good at this now.
If you'd like to, in the meantime, perhaps while we're at the shop, I'm going to take a look at these other diamonds and see how much they're worth.
Yeah, I've been carrying around this large piece of leather for quite a while now, and to be honest, I'd quite like to get rid of it. So,
Oh, actually, you could use the leather to make me a sheath for my knife. If I don't go back to the shop, I won't need to pay him. So, do you reckon
you've
you
already
could,
paid him, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
May as well collect. And I'm sure this leather's suitable for knife protection.
Yeah. You never told me you was a leather worker.
Binding bows, stringing bows, years and years of that. I can cut a piece of leather and make a piece of twine.
Could you make me a pair of shoes?
Probably not, Neftari, though it would be a pleasure to try.
I shall consult a cobbler.
That's probably a better idea.
So you guys are heading to the fence, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Right, as you guys make your way in, you can see that the right-hand pile has. It's not the size it was before, but it's slowly starting to build back up. On the desk, you can see a collection of different tankards. A couple are made of wood, a couple are made of glass. There's one that looks to be made of stone. There's what looks to be a bundle of arrows that have got some kind of string just tied around holding them together. A small leather bundle that's been neatly wrapped up, and a small leather pouch all on the table. As you enter, you just hear a, I'll be right with you. Give me 2 seconds. I just need to make sure this doesn't. And as he says the word doesn't, there's a crunch, and the semi-formed tower of trash on the right topples over.
Do these all seem pretty precariously assembled?
I would like to close the door behind me.
Okay. Yeah, you do so. And the items are like the towers are assembled. The left-hand tower, as you kind of glance over it, is being assembled in a way that if you were to push like set key items out from the tower, odds are it would lose all structural integrity and just collapse under its own weight.
I smell shenanigans.
After a couple of seconds, Jacques kind of clambers out from the trash. Right, I managed to find you all of the stuff that you need. Scabbard, bedroll, arrows, cups. They're not all the same, but there's cups.
They are perfect, my good man. Thank you.
Stone one must be temples.
I'll assume so.
Is it just a cylindrical rock?
Booze doesn't matter.
It's not like a cylindrical rock. It's made out of stone, but it does have like a quite distinct like handle kind of carved into it. And as you kind of glance over it, it does look to be a bit wider and deeper than the other ones.
Well, I'm going to pick up that stone cup and take a close look at it. What does it say on the bottom here? Does that say it looks
Made in
like
China.
written in the bottom of the stone mug? It seems to say nothing is written in stone. How philosophical.
I think you're seeing things, metal man.
I guess the glass one for the ladies and the metal ones for the.
There were wooden and glass ones.
We'll decide on that later. I'm gonna put the arrows into my quiver, and then if I can fit the various drinking receptacles in there as well.
Yeah, you can like the one of the pouches is designed to fit bows and javelins, so you could easily pop the cups in there and hold them in your efficient quiver.
Well,
all right. Is there anything else that I can get for y'all?
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Alexa, shut up. She always does this. I need to turn you off.
She's a woman, you can't turn her off. Or is it the opposite, that you can't turn her on?
That remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, cups are cool and that, but I can't help but think it would be cooler to be drinking from the skulls of our enemies.
That sounds quite macabre.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head
That
out.
sounds great until the
stuff.
necromancer has far too much to drink and resurrects the skulls.
I think next time we kill someone, you could insert some of these tankards into some skulls.
Well,
Yeah,
I wish you good luck
we'll
in
be
doing
sure to
that, lad.
take some skulls next time, Neftari. I'm sure we'll get the chance.
Add it to my
So,
list. Collect skulls.
I'm just gonna head outside while these guys are milling around. I'm gonna
Okay.
cut up the leather and start making a pouch for the diamonds outside for a moment, checking my arrows and make sure they're all solid and suitable for purpose.
Yeah. Like other than a couple of like the fletchling on it, a few of them is a bit split. You don't think it'll hamper your ability to fire them? Most of them seem to be alright.
Cool.
Alright. Anyone else doing anything at all?
Oh, actually,
I'm waiting.
while we're here, do you have any nice jewelry?
Probably. What do you fancy?
I don't know. Some rings or something. I don't know. Something gold.
Something gold. Alright.
I will help in your search.
No, you can just stay right there.
DM, can I see anything shiny, like in a pile or whatever?
Go ahead and roll me a perception check. A 10. Yeah, there's something shiny in the left hand, the left pile. It's about 10 feet up, and about upon as you kind of take a step forward and kind of focus in on it, looks to be about 7 or 8 inches deep into the pile. So you need to climb up and stick your hand in to tear this free.
I actually object. I'm 7 feet tall, and my arm sleeve wrench. Arm reach is
But
probably
it's
about
like
3 feet. So can I just stuff my arms in there anyway?
It's 7 inches deep, so you're going to have to climb up to actually be able to get your arm into it.
That seems inefficient and dangerous. I'm going to remove something underneath it to get to it more easily.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a athletics check, please. 14. As Jacques kind of like, no, it's fine. I can do it myself. Oh, please, no. And you kind of just like look up. You see this like wooden box that's kind of set in the pile. That's just underneath where you see the shiny thing. You just grab it and yank it out and nonchalantly toss it aside. The top of the pile just shudders. Josh is like, no. It doesn't budge. You reach in, you pull the shiny object.
Before we continue, DM, if anything looks like it's going to fall over, I'm going to try and catch everything.
Okay.
I'm just trying to keep an eye on where those books were that I looked at earlier.
They're just off on the right hand side. No one's really gone close to them yet, Cora.
On the right hand side of the left pile, or on
close to the right hand pile.
Close to the right hand pile. Okay.
Yes. So away from where everyone else is.
Okay. So, at seeing Temple attempt to do something hilariously
distracting.
Comedic. Yeah. I'm gonna step over to the right hand side of the room where the right hand pile is.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
You're gonna
That's
try
all I got right now.
Okay. Alright, cool. Temple, you managed to pull out the shiny object, and it's a bit scuffed and scratched, but it looks to be a gold ring of some kind that has an inlaid blue gem. It could be a sapphire, but I need to consult your book.
Then I shall consult my book. This might be lapis or something.
You're just doing it from where you are?
Yes, with my other free hand.
As you kind of scrambled up a couple of feet and like tear the box out and grab the ring, you kind of let go, open the book in the other hand, and kind of like compare the two. Before go ahead and roll me a dex save.
I wonder why you'd have me do that anyway.
14. You feel something start to give out underneath you from the pile as something just kind of buckles. You manage to readjust your footing and stand on something solid, so you don't fall over yet. And as you kind of compare, go ahead and roll me a investigation check at advantage, please.
So while everyone's preoccupied with the giant metal man that may cause an avalanche, can I reach for the books I was
Books?
looking at earlier?
Go ahead and roll me a
Yes.
sleight of hand check at advantage.
Okay. In addition, I'm going to cast message to the fence and mention I'm leaving money on the table.
Okay. Temple. With 5. The shade of the blue.
God damn it!
It's really close between a sapphire and lapis. It's in one light. In like, if you look at it from like one direction, it kind of goes quite pale. So you could assume that it could be a sapphire, but if you glance at it from another angle, it goes the blue is quite saturated and deep. So it could be lapis. You can't really say for sure.
Hey,
This is
Neftari, I found something. Catch.
And I had him to catch.
Go ahead and roll me a dex check. Let's see if you catch it.
Can I contest? Can it be contested against a strength check to see how hard
Nope.
I throw it?
Nope. You launch it. Neftari just kind of catches it. You look over and it's again a bit scratched, a bit scuffed, but it's a nice looking ring. Corlina on a 9.
Basically I'm picking up the 3 and then like bag of holding is open and
No,
money goes on the table.
No, and you're not here. And let's roll this. No, okay, yeah, no, you like without anyone actually like everyone's paying attention to Temple and what he's doing, and as you kind of like glance over to the bookcase, just and then slowly shuffle your way back to the beside Victorious.
Oh, no.
Happened.
No, my last thing would be putting the 5 coins on the table. I told him I was leaving money on the table.
Okay, yeah, you managed to you kind of like with the buckling of the metal, and as it almost looks like Temple's about to have this pile of trash just collapse on top of him, you kind of drop 5 gold coins and shuffle you back over to Victorless. No one seems to have noticed you.
Okay. Sitting down. I'm happy.
And that ring's okay. Does it match my brooch, do you reckon? And I hold it up to the brooch on my cloak. It's made out of pearl and amber.
As everyone kind of glances over to it, it kind of does go well. The amber being like a deep orange color into the brooch, in blues, well, is orange's opposite, so it does actually go really well. Like the ring, as you kind of hold it up, complements it really well.
Yeah, okay. How much is that? I'll take it.
I'll take it off you for 50 gold. Just please get down. I really don't want to have to build that again.
It's okay. I'm done. I'm going to step down.
Okay. You step down. There's a this pile just shudders. The shock just. All right. I just 50 gold, and please just leave. I really don't want to have this fall over.
But the stream probably feels otherwise. Is there anything else shiny? I'm just kidding.
I mean, if you want to check for other things.
Well, why not? Why not? I don't have to do anything. Maybe there's something shiny there, you know? Or
Go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
We all want this thing to fall over, but maybe it's not destined to happen.
Cocked. Okay, there we go. That's better. as you kind of glance away, there is one thing that catches your eye. It's not shiny, but deep into the left-hand pile, close to where you found the ring, you see a sudden, just a flicker of light as you kind of look over to it and focus. Doesn't happen again, but you swear you saw something, and then all of a sudden, another flicker of light. Kind of walk over and inspect, and you can see that it looks to be a ripple of energy flowing down what looks to be a piece of parchment that then reaches to the corner that is exposed to you, and once the energy kind of coalesces at the corner, it just sparks out towards you.
What is it?
Go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
I love this place. It's like an Aladdin's cave.
Think to yourself, what's in Aladdin's cave? A 12.
Why would you put a lad in a cave?
I mean, you've seen one of these before. You like you what was it? Aeron purchased these from the Tabaxi cleric back in Blackwall. Looks to be a spell scroll of some kind.
A Mordecai Mansion scroll specifically, or is
You
it just a
can't
spell
read it.
scroll?
It's a spell scroll of some kind, but you can't read what's on the scroll. Not from where it is at the moment.
Hey, Carolina, what is where is she?
She's just
I'm
back
over
over
here
next
next
to
to
it.
Vic. Hi.
I need help. I found magic.
Okay.
Interesting magic. What is this? But don't pull on it. It might bring the tower down. I don't want it to rip.
Okay.
That might be
How
cool.
how high up is it?
It's about 7 feet up.
I'll cast
I'm going to lift Carolina. if
No,
she
no, no, no.
consents.
I got things planned for this.
Okay.
I'll cast a 3rd level fly on myself,
Okay.
and I'll go up. Do you have shenanigans planned for that, DM?
No, I mean, you cast fly on yourself. I can't really.
You
Do-
forgot, didn't you?
Probably. Ping me it.
Just seeing if we keep our decency here.
Right. That. I mean,
Are you not doing this on stream? Are we gonna get booted?
go ahead and roll me an intelligence check, please, Cora. Actually, I think this would be more an intelligence save,
Sure.
as it just kind of clicks in Temple's head. A 26,
got
yeah. As you kind of
Gather my skirts around myself to kind of hold it
Yes.
close a little bit.
Yes.
Oh, Red Scott's gone, everybody.
fuck you, Evelyn, because I kind of just realized what the fuck she was talking about.
Fanfiction's gonna write itself one of these days.
Pens are already scratching, my dear.
And
But
can we
yes,
get-
you
can we
managed
get some
to
merch?
you manage to keep your decency as you fly up. You kind of adjust yourself so that you're not exposing yourself to absolutely everyone. As you look into where
No
Temple is
cheesecake for
pointing.
you guys.
Sorry, say that again.
No cheesecake for you guys.
You glance in. It's again just the corner of a spell scroll. You can see writing upon it. It's too deep into the pile, and you don't have enough information from where the angle that you're at to ascertain what is on the
Can
scroll.
you attempt to hold it? Like, so it's pinned under some stuff. Like
Yes,
how?
it's completely pinned. You cannot read what is on the scroll.
Okay. Well, do you think you can hold portions of this stack to see if
Hang on. I've got something for this. DM, I've hugged so many people. I have hugged so many people. I'd like to hug this pile to try and stop this pile falling over, and I'm going to plead for advantage because of all the practice hugging.
Oh my god.
Go ahead and roll me a strength check at advantage.
Yes.
At advantage, so roll again.
So wait, has the power of friendship helped in this?
As
Oh, so...
as you
Friendship
like,
is magic.
Even be
No.
shenanigans.
as the temple, it kind of clicks in your head that you could probably wrap your arms around this pile and potentially hold it in place so that Cora could pull the scroll out freely. And as you
Strength 5.
wrap your arms around, you kind of turn into it and realize it's kind of like a hug. You've done this before. This pile needs a hug. And you wrap your arms and you just start to cave in the sides as you manage to wrap your arms all the way around. It starts to squeeze in, and Jacques just, no, don't do that. And as he glances up, the pile just lists over to one side.
Try and help stabilize the pile.
Say that again, Neftari.
I would like to try and help stabilize the pile.
How would you like to do this?
Just put my arms out to try and push things back in that have fallen.
Go ahead and roll me a dex check, because you were stood back. You're going to have to dash over to this to try and keep it stable. Nope. An 11. No. You take one step forward, and Temple, as you kind of crunch in all this like loose metal and assortment of crap, you kind of lean into the hug and then kind of glance over, and you just see the tip just list over and eventually just collapse in. It buries Jacques.
I'm too strong.
And as the top portion of this tower of shit just pile it comes clean off Cora, you just manage to slip out the scroll with a tiny little nick in the corner, like the top corners just got caught and is torn slightly, but it's there. It's still sparking with arcane energy.
All right, I'm looking at it.
The power of friendship wins again.
It is written in Celestial, and as you look at it, your heart just kind of jumps in your chest. This is a teleportation scroll. You lucky motherfucker.
And my arcane boner grew 2 sizes this day.
What do? What do?
Round.
I'm still reading it over, being like, "This is awesome."
There's.
Can I take a look at it and see what it is?
Can hold on.
Yes, I can read it Celestial.
Can you
I-
read
I
Celestial?
can-
Oh, sorry,
I
was
can-
it Celestial? Sorry,
You
hold
said
on.
celestial.
No, because I don't think Celestial is something that you can read, Carolina. Is it? I thought it.
It's not.
No, sorry, it wasn't. No, it was Primordial. Sorry, not Celestial. I had to double check your languages. See, this is why I hate not having having to look at your languages on Roll20 and then having temples open on D&D Beyond. It's fine though. So sorry, my apologies. It's in Primordial, not in Celestial. Because otherwise you wouldn't be able to know what it is.
This is a teleportation circle, guys. I think I could learn how to do this.
I look up from my weaving of my intricate leather
Mm-hmm.
bag that I'm making. Teleportation to where?
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check, Victarless.
And will this teach you the spell, or is it a one-use kind of deal?
I'm kind of special like that. I can kind of learn any kind of spell, as long as it's written down.
I'm 16. As you kind of say teleport to where, it kind of clicks in the back of your head. You've used teleportation circles many times in the past.
Mhm.
You put down the circle, you input the rune code, and you teleport to a location. If done correctly, this could be your ticket back to a cry.
We do have with us the codes for Silver Keep.
You do.
So what ingredients do you need to make this circle?
As I'm reading it,
Yes, you are definitely reading it as I pull up my PHP and look up teleportation.
it's okay. I
circles.
just looked it up myself because I'm technically reading this scroll.
Yes, it is rare chalks and inks infused with precious gems worth 50 gold pieces, which the spell consumes. So precious gems are worth 50 gold pieces.
Those things.
I think
Yes,
Okay,
what the
that-
omnipotent voice said.
So you can create as many circles as you want.
As long
wherever
as we
you
have
want.
enough stuff, yeah.
That's going to be an interesting get out of jail free card if we ever need it. Where did
Marlena,
the shopkeeper go?
as you know from the spell, from what you can read on it, it wouldn't be useful as a quote get out of jail free card. It
It's
takes
not.
time to set it up, and
This one does take time because, you know, I still have to set everything up. I still have to input arcane calculations appropriately, or else we could end up somewhere completely off the map, for lack of a better term.
that and it's not permanent. This is a use. This is like the teleportation circle that you draw is technically a one-time use. You can use the spell as many times as you want, but the one that you use that you step through is a one-time use to get you to a permanent circle. If you want a permanent one, it will take well over a year to actually enchant a permanent
It's kind
circle
of like a
with its
one-way
own
door.
one-way door works.
It's
I'm
kind of like a
wondering whether-
one-way door. You go in it after that circle is used, but you can't necessarily return to that exact same spot unless you have a permanent one affixed there. But that does take a lot of time, and I don't think that's the time we have.
And I haven't seen any permanent circles since we've been here. Do they even have them here?
I don't know.
Had them in a
That's a good
cry.
question. But if there's one in Westruun or in Whitestone, then that
Let's ask Yoga.
scroll could serve as well.
All right.
Where'd the shopkeeper go?
He's currently buried under a mountain of shit that collapsed.
The temple doesn't know that.
Oh,
Where
you
did
don't.
the shopkeeper go?
I think he just wanted us to leave. I think we outstayed our welcome here.
There's
Yeah, sounds about right.
a grumble and a small like pile of the trash starts to slowly rise up and shift.
Did you say 50 gold for the scroll? It's
No
in some language
response.
nobody can understand it. I'm sure it's worthless.
There's no response before Jacques kind of slowly rises up. His face bright red with anger as he just glares at all of you. Get out of my shop. Now. It took me hours to build that.
I feel like in as much time you could build a shelf. Maybe I could help you sometime?
Get the fuck out!
Panic.
Mm.
Transposition. She's gone.
I'm just going to start strolling out the door
Yeah.
as I've kind of
All right.
finished the tie on this little bag casually.
Just, alright, cool, bye.
I don't mind staying to help.
You
I'll take
caused
it on your
this.
expression then as I'll leave.
Get
Why do we always seem to
out.
end up pissing off dwarves when they're trying to sell us?
As you guys
You dwarf, I
slowly
bet not
turn
that
around and walk away, you kind of glance over your shoulder. Jacques just kind of waddles out into the front of his room that is his store. Turns around and just sinks to his knees. He's like, for fuck's sake, not again. As you guys walk away. And with that, I say we take a quick break here because I really need to go to the bathroom.
Sure. Shenanigans every time.
I hate you guys so much. I really
You
do.
love it. You love it.
It's very much a love-hate relationship. I love the game, but I hate you guys being complete arseholes at times.
Hey, at least I'm not today.
We need shirts.
Hiding in a room with Aeron for the most part.
Yeah. Each their own, I guess. Anyway, gonna dip AFK here for we'll say reconvene here at the very latest at 10 past. So that we can get going and get the last hour or so of the game going. How's that sound?
Cool
Works.
beans.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Right, cool. So that gives us about 12 minutes. Grab your snacks, grab your drinks, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do, and we shall reconvene at 10 past at the latest. Right, finally, we're back after munching and bathroom breaks and food and stuff.
Memes.
And memes, I fucking hate you. Do not post that, I swear to Christ. I will click the ban button so fucking quickly. Anyway, we had just caved in the fence's tower of trash. You've gotten all of your equipment that you need. Diamond dust, diamonds, tankards, arrows, bedroll, spell scroll, surprisingly. What are you guys doing now?
I'm just happy as a little clam with my spell scroll.
Well, if we can find Yoga, he might know if there's a teleportation circle in Westruun.
Alright.
Saves the journey.
So, Corleone's doing some quiet counting to herself, and she's like, okay, if there's 5 hours, that takes that much. Oh, that's gonna be terrible. Just,
Also, Carolina,
mm-hmm.
guys, do you mind seeing if you can find Yoga? Gotta have a word. And I'm
At
going
this point-
to.
Sorry.
No, if you guys don't want to do that, then tell me.
Well, at this point, Talar, you're still with Aeron. They've just left the fences
Right.
shop. So that's
Right.
to you, Neftarian Temple. So if you guys want to head off and try and find Joga at Victorious' request, you can. Or you can do whatever you like. Because fuck him.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
let's find Yoga.
In the meantime, I'm gonna take Cora over to where we had some food and ale previously.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get 2 ales, please, my good man?
Alright, 2 ales coming right up. A couple of seconds later, a couple of wooden tankards are placed down before you. Slides them over to you and it kind of sloshes over. Enjoy. Turns around and he's working behind the bar.
I throw him 1 gold. Hopefully that's enough.
Gold clatters across the bar and kind of gets up and like, no. He slides it back to you. Drinks are on the house when you're in the clasp.
Oh, that's fantastic news. Cora, take a sip of this stuff.
Fuck.
Alright. I'll grab up a tankard and take a drink.
I know what he's doing.
Yeah. Ah. Fuck. Right, yeah, Cora. Go ahead and roll me a con save.
Oh.
A 9. It tastes very bitter, really hot when you swallow it. It almost burns down your throat, and it just
That's abysmal. What is that?
Yeah, it's not nice.
It's cheap, shitty ale. Some of the finest in the land.
I can tell.
You can remember how that tastes in future. I mean, take another sip or two, just to.
I'll do it for
Just to
science,
feel-
but jeez.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna start chugging my own
Mm-hmm.
tankard of ale down.
A con save of 11. You've had your first kind of gulp. The second one burns a little less. Taste doesn't improve though, but you're able to hold it down just.
What kind of ale is it that burns? Is
Cheap
it
shit.
that bad?
It's like an IPA.
It's cheap shit. You answered your own question
that
about
costs-
30
Oh, I
seconds
know,
ago.
but I've never known it to burn.
It's an IPA. It's terrible.
Oh well, you got to try these things, haven't you? Once. And I'm just gonna continue chugging on mine until the tankard's empty.
Yeah. Are you chugging
Every time
along?
I
Are you
try
drinking
alcohol,
alongside?
I'm trying.
Right, another con save, please.
Was this it? Did you just want to feed me this?
Okay.
You learn to love the beer.
In 22, the taste still doesn't improve, but you're able to hold it down. You get through the rest of the tankard. The aftertaste does kind of settle. I mean, it tastes very earthy.
Like
Could,
dirt.
like with time, it could grow on you if you continue drinking it, but you wouldn't know until you keep drinking it.
Was that all you needed me for?
Yeah, I just thought I'd open your eyes to new experiences while we're here. May come in useful.
Such a cunt.
How'd it taste?
Terrible. I mean, it finished fine at the end, but God, was it terrible.
I think most people say that the first time they drink it. Well, if you've got no further business here, then should we catch up with the others?
I suppose so. At least have something to read while I'm, we're on the road, I suppose.
That scroll looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, it shouldn't take me but maybe... Okay, how are you ruling it if it's an odd numbered spell, but because it's conjuration, it gets cut in half? Do you round down or do you round up?
Round up.
Okay, so 3 hours and 5 gold for 3 hour or for per level, which is
Wait, hold on. I thought teleportation circle was a transmutation spell.
no, it's conjuration.
Is it conjuration?
It is conjuration.
Where is it? Teleportation circle. Yes, it is a conjuration circle. A conjuration spell. So it would be 3 hours and 150 gold pieces worth of materials to copy it into your spellbook. And because it is a scroll, there's no guarantee you'll be able to copy it down without it fucking the scroll up. You will need to roll for it.
Okay, and you said that was I'm sorry.
3 hours and 150 gold pieces worth of materials.
And then there's even no guarantee that the scroll will be consumed.
No, the scroll will be consumed. Like, that's fact, because you will need to
Okay.
use the scroll in order to ensure that it works properly. Whether you then recite it from your spell book and it works, that's a different question.
All right. So, hopefully this I can copy this one into my spellbook appropriately, and instead of having one use, we'll have multiple uses at least.
It's certainly seen us well in the past. Get to Westruun a lot quicker if we can find a code.
Yep. Oh, that's so terrible.
You done with that bedroll, by the way?
Hmm?
My bedroll.
Yeah, I thought I gave it back to you.
She did. Like early on in the session, she gave it back to you.
Okay.
That's why she bought her own one.
Oh no, but I wasn't aware that she'd actually given mine back yet. Oh, carry on. We'll go and meet the others.
Yeah, let's hope they've worn out the word erogenous.
All right. So, in the meantime, Neftari Temple, what are you guys up to?
Well, I realized exactly why they went for beer. So I tell the temple that while we're looking for yoga. Also, while we're wandering around, I'd like to have a closer look at my ring.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'd like to try and retrieve the dagger out of my.
Okay, yeah, you're able to do so. You're able to retrieve the dagger, and as you kind of draw the blade and take a look at it, you're able to kind of inspect your ring as well. What are you trying to ascertain?
Just whether it's got any special properties, magical properties.
Go ahead and roll me an Arcana check at disadvantage, and do that twice, one for each. It's a disadvantage, so go ahead and roll me another one. Right, so that we'll say that second roll there is for the ring. Yeah, it didn't roll disadvantage on the first one, so just roll me an Arcana check one more time. A 3 and an 8. First one's for the dagger. The 3. Can't really tell. I mean, it's a topaz blade. You could assume it's got some kind of magical properties, but you're not really picking anything up. Carolina might be able to tell if it's magical or not, and confirm that it's magical to you. The ring, not even a whisper of magical property. It's just a kind of buffed and scratched sapphire or lapis or some other blue gemmed ring.
I'd like to then take the dagger and put it in the chief I just acquired.
Yeah, no problem. You managed to slip it in. The blade itself is a little shorter than the scabbard, so it doesn't fit perfectly, but it does sit quite all right, and you are able to then kind of set it up and your set up to your waist, so you do have immediate access to the dagger if you need it.
Excellent. Oh, we'll just keep looking for yoga.
All right, you head over. You watch as Victoria and Coralina head off towards the bar. You head back the way you initially came, heading over to Joga's office, and you kind of just lightly knock on the door. You hear some footsteps from inside, and a couple of moments later, the door swings open, and Joga is there before you. Natare Temple, what can I do for you?
We're wondering whether you have teleportation circles on this concept.
Taudore, they're few and far between. It's mostly the wizards of the land that set up circles from one college or place of study to another.
We've come across the ability to teleport to any of these from anywhere, but of course we're lacking in teleportation codes, and we'd love to get to Whitestone, for example. Do you know where we might be able to procure information in relation to teleportation codes?
You could go and speak to the old men the relic hunters.
At
They
the
might be able
museum.
to. Yes, where you had your incident the first time around. You could head up there and speak to some of the members up there. One of them might be able to provide you a rune code. However, I personally do not know anything.
Do you know if there's actually any circles in this town so we can get back here?
Not that I know of. And I've gone through Stilben many a time. There doesn't seem to be any of unless it's hidden away or it is a private circle. Nothing.
Yeah, I think the people that have them, they're usually pretty well guarded, aren't they? Hidden in a castle or a lair somewhere.
Usually, like a keep or something, as a means for getting back to their humble abode without spending days or weeks traveling.
Yeah, I kind of thought you might have one here. You not got one? Sure, you're not got one hiding under the rug there or anything?
Oh, I can guarantee you we don't have them. We don't venture out of Stilben. Why would we need to spend 10 minutes drafting up a teleportation circle to teleport about 10 minutes of travel time?
Yep, fair enough.
Well, I appreciate your insight. We'll be starting with the Relic Hunters Guild. That might allow us to get around the cry a lot faster.
Around Taudore, much faster, yes.
That's what I meant, yes.
Of course. Yeah, seek out the relic hunters. They may be able to provide you with such information. If there is a teleportation circle in Westruun or Whitestone, they may be able to provide you the code needed. Otherwise, you're, well, to put it bluntly, you're shit out of luck.
Yeah. Oh, cheers anyway.
Of course, if you need anything else, don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you.
He gives you a curt nod as he steps back and closes the door to his office again.
Relic Hunters Guild it is then. Shall we head over, Neftari, you and me, or shall we wait for our friends here?
I'll meet up with you this. I think we should go and gloat at the remnants of the topaz blade.
Okay, so you're going to find everyone else, yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna head back
Sure.
and grab Talar.
So it's about this point actually where Victorlas and Corlina, you guys have left the bar after, well, Victorlas successfully tanning your tankard of ale, and Corlina, you struggled through it, but you have the taste. Not the
I
most.
have conjured a pastry to cover up the taste because it's still hanging
It
around
still
in my mouth
lingers,
pretty
yeah,
heavily.
it's
Have
not-
a conjure pastry spell?
It's a minor conjuration.
Minor conjuration. She's yes. Oh, you missed that part for your breakfast while you guys were out in the swamp. She conjured pastries for everyone to munch as for your breakfast.
It's like the crisp crunch of flaky pastry dough.
What a time to be alive.
But yeah, the taste still lingers no matter how much you try and wash it down. But you do have that kind of that taste in the liquid memorized for potential future
Terrible.
use. You all regroup and take a step inside the darkened room. Talar, while everyone's been going about their business, do you have another 5th level spell slot, or did you use them both?
She's used both of them,
Okay,
and she hasn't been through a
long
rest
rest.
yet.
Okay,
It's
So
been a
at this
long
at
while,
this point,
though. Is there I mean,
no.
we've waited around a while not doing much. Is there
Yeah,
any
but
chance a short rest? would be
a
good?
short rest doesn't bring back spell slots for a cleric. It's only a long rest.
Oh, yeah.
so and just at this point during the time that they're doing all their stuff, she's been tending to any remaining wounds and just sitting there, watching over him. I would imagine
Okay.
her having kind of like slightly dozing here and
Mhm.
there, but jerking awake at any slight
No.
sound.
Out of game, this is just a rules aspect. I don't really consider
Okay.
this cheating. Remember, having a spell like Greater Restoration, even though it doesn't really have a like casting this spell at level of 6th or higher does X, you can still you can still expend a higher level spell slot to cast a lower level spell if you don't have a slot available. So a 5th level spell, you could still use a 6th level spell slot to cast it, but it just won't have any additional effects. So you could technically
Oh.
cast Greater Restoration 3 times in one long rest because you have 2 5th level spell slots and a 6th level spell slot. But that does mean
didn't know
that
that.
your 6th level spell slot, like Word of Recall and Blade Barrier spell and Heal, spells that require a 6th level spell slot, you won't be able to use because you've used your 6th for a 5th level spell.
Right.
It'd be the same as, say, you used all of your spell slots, but you're 6th level and you needed like a like I don't know, let's say lesser restoration. Like you could still expend a 6th level spell slot to use that as a last ditch effort. You don't really get much use out of it because it's only a 2nd level spell, and if you only have a 6th level spell slot, you can still expend that for a lesser spell. It's just you don't really get much use out of it. So so you do have that for future reference as well. So if you do want to do anything in the meantime, since you're not just patching wounds and changing bandages and stuff like that, you could potentially do something here with a 6th level spell slot if you'd like to. The option is there.
That is actually very good to know. I wasn't aware of that option. I would like to have her actually take that opportunity.
Okay, cool. So go ahead and expend your 6th level spell slot. Okay. I'd like you to first off roll me a religion check at advantage, please. An 18 and a 19. Okay. Now, call high or low, please.
Low.
Ooh. Okay. You go through the motions once again. You can grasp your holy symbol. The divine energies of Tselun you can feel just course through your veins as you reach over and just put your hand on Aeron's shoulder. He's been tossing and turning. Has still been unconscious, but you let the energy flow through you into his shoulder. You watch the violet energy flow over his body and then dissipate down into his form. His tossing and turning comes to a gradual stop. His head kind of rolls over to the side towards you. His eyes slowly open up. Hey.
Thank the goddess.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Thank her. Where are we?
Still need. We are in the Clasp headquarters.
Where is that?
Still been.
Still, we made it to Tal'Dorei. That's nice. Kind of like rolls over and just his head just lolls back onto the desk, staring up to the ceiling. How long was it gone?
Out of character, actually, how long was?
Out of character, it's been about a week that he's been gone.
Say 3 years.
Stop it!
No,
You're not there.
She
I'm
kind
afraid
of
it's been 9 years. Anyone? Anyone? No?
Am I here? I'm not here.
No. No one got the reference. Damn it.
Oh, Black Ops.
Nope.
Uh,
Let's try though. Yeah, please continue, Talar. Sorry.
She kind of rubs his shoulder gently and says,
Metal Gear Solid.
It's-
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. You go.
"It's been about a week."
Right. How much of the place have you destroyed since I've gone down?
Huh? Bar?
Wait, you've actually destroyed a bar?
Temple threw a table and it caught on fire and burned the place down.
And why was Temple throwing tables?
Victralis, I think he said something and it started a fight and it just went downhill from there.
Honestly, I'll leave you guys alone for a few days and look what happens.
Well,
You
we're still alive.
you kind of like as he's saying this, you can kind of hear that his speech is starting to slow, get a bit softer. His eyes have kind of closed as he's resting his head on the table, and he kind of like slowly his head is like, kind of leaning off to the side away from you.
She leans down a little bit towards him and says, You should rest some more. Get some more
Yeah.
sleep."
Yeah, I think we'll do that. And he just passes out.
She chuckles a little and pats his shoulder gently and sits back down and just watches over him.
It's about this time that the door slowly opens up. And Temple and Nithari are the first one to walk in. And a couple of moments later, Victorless and Carlina join you as well.
And before they hopefully make a ton of noise, she's going to reach up and put her finger to her lips. But she has a smile on her face, so she's just saying, shh.
Okay. Alright, so everyone is rejoined to learn the makeshift hospital room for Aeron. What are you guys doing?
So Aaron's compass meant this with all of us now.
Sorry?
As we walk into the room, he's
He's unconscious as you walk into the room.
nice.
He's
Okay.
fallen back to sleep. From what you can tell as you enter the room, he's still just the way he was before.
Fair enough. Any progress, Salah?
I managed to do another spell, and he woke up briefly. He just fell back asleep.
I think we've done all that we can do, at least for now.
At this point, he needs rest.
It's been suggested that we go back to the scene of the robbery and the fight. Talk to the old man. See if he knows of any teleportation circle keys. There's a little wizard here.
Teleportation.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Corin,
What?
I'll let you explain.
Okay, so while we were looking through the fence's wares, I pull out the spell scroll and said, Temple managed to find this. I don't know if you can read it, but if not, that's okay. That's a spell scroll for a nice spell known as Teleportation Circle. It's really fun. It's like what I do, like when I switch places with you guys, except we can go a lot further and I can take a lot more people.
I've been through a teleportation circle. I didn't know that there was one out here.
might be, there might not. I don't know.
Well, we spoke to the leader of the guild about that, and he has no idea, but suggested the best place to inquire might be the Relic Hunters Guild. Perhaps if anyone would know any teleportation circle codes, perhaps they would, even if it's one that just brings us back to Stillburn should we need to be here.
It's worth a shot, I would think.
Yeah,
It
he
could
said he's
be-
been all over this city and he's never come across one here.
It could be perfect in an emergency if we ever needed to get back
Get back.
home.
Yeah, we certainly know some codes to get back to a cry, but it would be handy to have some codes to get back here as well.
It certainly should be our next priority.
Can it only be used once?
For the scroll, yes. But if I have some time to study it, I might be able to do it more than that.
How much
And
time do you need?
I've okay, about maybe 3 hours, and I I really don't know how to say this. I'm going to need gold.
Gold? I have gold?
Yeah, gold
Uh,
shouldn't be a problem.
About 125 pieces worth.
No problem.
150 pieces.
It's 250, you said?
150.
I thought 150.
Yeah,
Sorry,
it's 100. It's 100 gold pieces per level,
Okay, sorry.
and then and an hour, and like per is an hour? Yeah, an hour. No, 2 hours. Sorry, 2 hours per level. 100 gold pieces. Half of that for the same school. So
Okay,
1 hour
so
per
about
level, and 50 gold pieces a piece. So 150 gold pieces and 3 hours.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works. I'll have to double check in the PHP.
Okay.
Here you go.
Thanks. You guys aren't really asking a lot of questions for this. I thought you guys would actually be a little bit more sparing with just handing me this.
Well, these circles have saved our bacon more than once. If we can use them at our will, it
Fair
makes
enough.
our lives a lot easier.
Well, if we have time to kill, I can get started.
I could use some food. I haven't ventured anywhere since, well, since the last time we had food.
Well, the rat here is not to your taste, Tilaf.
I know.
Well, I'm happy to wait here with Cora if she needs time to study the scroll. But if there are codes to these teleportation circles to be had, I think we should get them as quickly as possible.
Well, we could go and do that and find some sustenance and return here.
Seems safe enough. Worries me that this place is a little more lively than we've seen before, but we've got other more important things to take care of at the moment. I'm going to stand up and ready myself to leave.
Is everyone else getting ready to leave too?
Sure.
All right. Like I said, I can do my studying on the road. It doesn't have to be three. It doesn't have to be 3 hours like back to back to back. But
Doesn't have to be 3 consecutive hours, but you can like do some studying on the road.
yeah.
Should
So-
someone stay behind to watch over Aeron?
I mean, if you're that concerned, I can. I mean, he'll be quiet enough while I'm studying.
And you could get your studying done.
Yeah.
Sure, he
It'd
just
work
needs
for me.
time. I suppose it's good to have a friendly face around when he wakes up, and he doesn't really know you, does he?
No, I've never seen this draconic individual before in my life.
How long is it going to take us? He'll probably be asleep all the time we're gone. By the time we get back, he'll probably still be asleep. We've done everything
Let's
we
just
can.
go on. I can watch him, and if worse comes to worse, I can get away. If worse comes to
Alright,
worse.
we're going into a place where we may need to learn about arcane teleportation circles, and if you're the one deciphering this scroll,
Yeah, I really think
the
you should
best
go.
place you should be is with us.
Okay. All right then.
Also, we may need booze.
I'm not
Or
summoning
just
that gross
face
stuff.
palm
That gross
weapons.
stuff was gross.
Yeah, give it time.
Eh. All right, so are we heading to the Relic Hunters Guild?
So you guys are heading out towards the Relic Hunters Guild, yeah.
Do we go past the
Sure.
Topaz Blade on the way?
It's not immediately with like the. It is a bit out of the way, so you would have to make a detour to get to the
we're
Topaz
gonna
Blade.
take a
and...
detour. We're absolutely gonna take a detour.
Okay.
So is no one staying behind then?
I mean, as it stands at the moment, he is
Safety in
completely
numbers.
unconscious and surrounded by
He'll
allies.
be okay. He'll be okay.
Being looked after here.
Besides, I think the healers are mostly giving you guys space. I would think. So I'd say they'll still check in on them. You know.
Hmm.
We won't be gone long, Tala.
Very well.
And if your god sense starts tingling, I can try to get you back. Might cause some collateral damage, but I can get you back quickly.
I'd prefer no damage.
Okay.
Okay. And with that, you take a couple of, like, as you're all filtering out the door, then making your way up to out the exit from the clasp. Till you take one final glance over your shoulder into the darkened room. Just, making, like, you know that he's going to be safe, but it's still, you would feel better if someone was there. But you know that being the class members are your allies.
Wait, I have this. I have this.
What are you
I'd
doing?
like to blow my one spell slot. It's Sir Barkley. He can stay behind. Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
You could definitely do that. What form is Sir Barkley taking?
Oh, his usual
Bloodhawk.
Bloodhawk form at
Cool.
the moment. He hasn't told me otherwise.
You take a moment and summon Sir Barkley. Kind of
He
apparates
can
on.
stay behind and he can come find us if anything happens. Isn't that right, Sir Barkley?
Kind of just ruffles his feathers and looks at you. Well, of course, Lady Carolina. I will do whatever I can to make sure that
Oh,
You're-
he gets an internal monologue now.
he does get an internal monologue because, it was a bit of a miscommunication on my part when I've never done Conjuration Wizard before, so you have to bear with me. But he does get an internal monologue that only you can hear because this is telepathic. I will make
Excellent.
sure that your newly found scaly friend is kept safe, and if anything were to happen to him, I will post haste and make my way to you, even though I do not know my way about this place. But I will do whatever I can to find my way to you.
Just look for him, and I point at Temple.
With his hat.
I'm waving.
I will
look for
look
that,
for the
okay?
extremely stupid hat, of course, my lady. And he
Excellent.
takes off from your
completely
shoulder.
Forgot about the hat.
Sorry?
I forgot about the hat completely.
But Barkley takes off from your shoulder and perches up on a chair, like close by Aeron, and just ruffles his feathers and
Almost like a
Sets up the
Bloodhawk
rock.
salute.
with that,
Alright, he's good.
you guys head up, you head out. Manage to make your way through the winding halls that is the Clasp and making your way up to the exit. Manage to break out into the early evening sunlight. The sun is slowly beginning to set. You probably only have another couple of hours of daylight left. Head up, heading north, but breaking off to the west, like down a few side streets as you try and remember your way to where the topaz blade was situated. And find your way past Aeron's blades. When seeing the shop, it kind of clicks in your head, like heading in the right direction. And as you round the corner, you see the building itself is mostly intact, but any kind of wooden feature to it and the slight tiles that were adorned on the roof have all but either burned to a crisp or like melted from the intense heat. The building itself is still standing, but like as you glance through some of the lower windows and through the front door, it is nothing but a charcoal burnt to a crisp mess. There's some remnants of what looks to be chairs and barrels. You swear you can see the overturned table that Temple threw to ignite the place. And as you kind of glance around, I would like everyone to go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Basically, it looks like if you even just looked at it funny, it'd fall over.
Maybe.
Temple, you're the only one that sees this. As everyone else, you kind of like just you nod and grin at your handiwork as like you dealt with essentially what was an assassination attempt on your lives, and this was an apt outcome given the circumstances. You begin to walk away. Temple, as you begin to walk away, you kind of like you take one side glance in just to reflect on your handiwork. And on the stairwell, there is the charred skeletal remains. Looking at it, it's quite small.
I'm definitely going to stop what I'm doing and approach.
Everyone else,
I'm
you
not-
all stop and like, turn around, not hearing Temple's loud footfalls behind you. You see Temple kind of push in through the charred doorway and disappear into the crispy remains that was the topaz blade.
Temple, what are you doing?
Temple, as you head inside, the ash and the burnt remains of the tables and chairs and the mostly wooden floor that kind of gives way to the stone supports underneath. You walk over to the stairwell, which is relatively intact. Go ahead and roll me an investigation check. 15. You make your way slowly and carefully up the stairs, moving past the first set of skeletal remains. Everyone else, as you manage to make back to the doorway in the window, you actually see the skeletal remains on the stairwell and follow Temple as he watch Temple as he makes his way up the stairs. Temple, there are 3 doors still closed. 2 of them are open, and one of them has what looks to be another set of skeletal remains in the middle of the doorway.
I don't like this one bit. I'm going to take a close look at the skeletal remains to see if I can figure out what kind of person this is.
They're just skeleton. It's just a skeleton. It's quite large, so a humanoid, elf, human, half elf. You can't really say for sure. It's just a skeleton. It's set of skeletal remains. But from the way the skeleton is positioned, looks like they were trying to make their way out before the smoke or the fire consumed them.
I'm going to take a knee and I'm gonna let a little prayer off to my god, Nerul. May they find peace in death, because it wasn't their time. And that's because Temple believes these are civilians that have died from the fire in the inn.
Everyone else who's outside, what are you guys doing?
I'm going to move in and follow up the stairs to see what Temple's doing.
Okay.
I want Talar. Well, she's seeing these remains, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, you've seen the ones on the stairs. You've not seen anything else, unless you're following behind.
I'd like her to follow behind, and as she passes each remains, she wants to pause for just a brief moment, holding her sigil, and give a quiet prayer to each one.
Tari? Carolina? What are you guys doing?
I think I'm just remaining quiet because this is pretty sobering
heavy.
scene.
And Tari, what about you?
Nefertari doesn't give a damn and keeps his distance.
Okay. Fair enough.
Well, Temple sure isn't going to take this well, because he's going to walk back down the stairs, out and off down the street alone in the direction of the Relic Hunters Guild, without saying a word to anyone.
Okay.
Well, I was going to get to the top of the stairs and see Temple making the prayer, kneel briefly, and then say, fuck. Put on my hood and do exactly what Temple's doing about 2 seconds before he does it.
Okay. As it slowly dawns upon you all that actions have consequences, and sometimes those consequences don't directly affect you, but the people in the world around you. And what you can all gather is that the other patrons who had been staying in the Topaz Blade, those who had been up in their rooms at the time that the fight broke out and the fire broke out, some of them weren't able to escape with their lives.
Talar is going to continue upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it's on her own for this moment, but she's basically going to say a prayer for each person who died and wish them a safe passage into the next life.
So, in total, Talar, you have the one body that is on the stairwell, the second body that is in the doorway, and as you go through several rooms, you come across 12 more bodies, 12 more skeletal remains.
She's going to do the same for each one.
There are 2 couples. There are 3 people who are just on their own. And in the last room, just before you it's the last room on the right before you head back down in the stairwell to move towards the Relic Hunter Guild to join everyone else. You open the door, and there are 5 skeletal remains in the back corner, all huddled together, as it seems like a family of 5 died in each other's arms as the fire consumed them.
She walks in and she stops to take in the scene for a moment, and she slowly falls to her knees, says the prayer, and during this time she ends up in tears. And she begins to apologize. This is not something that we meant to have happen. I'm so sorry. May the goddess watch over your souls. And may you find peace in your next life. She's going to sit there for a moment and then slowly stand and back gently out of the room and continue outside.
Okay. And lastly, Carolina, what were you doing? Did you follow the group in, or were you still outside with Neftari? Just
I think
observing.
it's more. I think I'm just observing at this point because this is pretty.
It's quite a heavy scene, yeah.
Yeah.
So, as Neftari kind of like glances in, sees what's going on, and kind of shrugs and walks away, not really phased by the situation, do you follow along with Neftari, or do you wait for the others?
I'll wait for the
Yeah,
others
wait for the others in.
because I'm kind of. It's kind of just more of. This is the first time of really seeing ramifications for
Mhm.
spell slinging. Like real life ramifications, other than oh you're fine, just shake it off.
Yeah. It's a couple of minutes later. It's about 5 minutes of you walking Neftari, and eventually you do like kind of glance over your shoulder and realize that the others may have taken this a bit harder than what you're used to seeing. It's not something that really phases you, but you slow your pace to a stop and turn and wait for the others. 5 minutes go by. Victorlas and Corlina. Because Corlina, I would assume that once one of them kind of makes their way out and heads down the road to catch up to Nithar, you would follow along beside them.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Corlina and Victorlas eventually catch up to you. About 30 seconds later, Temple shows up. Temple just continues walking past. Again, the paint is all but faded away to the expressionless visage that is his head. But like the way he walks, you can kind of tell that he's upset in some way, shape, or form. And then about another 5 minutes later, as you guys all kind of pick up a slow pace to keep an eye on Temple, but not going fast enough to like leave Talar behind you. Eventually, slowly catches up to you all as you manage to regroup outside the front large door to the Relic Hunter Guild Hall.
Her face is visibly wet.
It's quite clear that Talar has been crying.
Well, nothing we can do about what we've just seen, what we've done. We know that could be coming will be a lot worse for everyone. So let's go and talk to this guy and see if we can hasten our journey and avoid any more of this unnecessary damage. Let's
Okay.
head down and push the doors open.
Okay. Yeah, you push in. You enter the very clean and scrubbed circular hall of the Relic Hunter Guild. Several of the like pedestals that contained the that held the glass casing with different types of relics and tomes and scrolls are now any that were damaged have been repaired and are set back up. As you glance
So
through,
there's all kinds of arcane baubles and such.
yeah, there is arcane knickknacks all over
So
this place.
a little bit of Corleona's quiet facade fades a little bit, and she is just kind of in awe. It's kind of like a kid in a
Perks
candy
up and
store kind of thing.
ooh, shiny. And
There's so much knowledge here.
as you guys glance through to the back hall that opened up into where they were keeping their prized possession, the staff of Karsus, notice that there is a staff there. As you glance down, it would seem that the the hunters have put in a fake in its place just to make it seem like nothing was taken, so that if people know what it is capable of, there isn't mass panic. As you head through to the back, where the hunters have their barracks, or so to say, their resting area where they all stay and rest. You knock on the door. A couple of minutes goes by, and a elderly, and this is a very elderly, elven man, kind of opens the door very slowly. Yes, what can I do for you?
We've been here before and defended this place from would-be assassins and thieves.
Oh yes, you're the individuals who saved Oric's life. He did mention that you might be coming back this way. Oh, how can we be of assistance to you?
We need to know about teleportation circles in Taldori. Is there something you can help us with?
They don't really have many teleportation circles in Taldori. The more pronounced cities and towns may have one. Whitestone, Amon, Singorn, if it is on this plane of existence. They, I believe, have teleportation circles. I do not quite remember the code, but I'm sure we have it written down somewhere.
We would appreciate any efforts you can make.
Of course. Callum, boy, come. As the elven individual clicks his fingers, a human boy runs over. Looks to be in his early to late teens, maybe 15, 16 at best guess. Kind of runs over.
DM, you said
Yes.
for the city names, you said it was just Whitehorns,
Whitestone,
Singorn.
Amon, and Singorn. Is what I said.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
No problem. And the boy kind of runs over and glances at you all. Yes, master. What? Please, find my tome of Arcane Discovery, Volume 3, The Act of Teleportation. I believe I have some notes in there that may be of use to this group of saviors. Of course, sir. Right away. And steps out into the back. About 10 minutes later, he steps back through. There's a very large, leather-bound, thick book in his hands, and he's just about halfway through, rifling through the pages. Going through it very quickly, master. There is one code here for a teleportation circle. It doesn't have a destination marked, but I'm sure it leads somewhere. Where were the circles? Singorn, Amon, and is it Westruun? Or Whitestone?
You said Whitestone.
Whitestone. Thank you, my dear. Thank you very much. I'm getting old. It could be Whitestone. Please, Cal, copy the code and provide it to them. Of course, master. Kind of heads off to the side and copies down on a bit of parchment and passes it over to Victoria, since you've taken the lead. I would perhaps suggest not using it. there's no destination marked, and if you've used teleportation circles before, they can be quite dangerous. If you put in the code incorrectly or with a slight mistake, you could be teleported hundreds of miles away from your destination, or you could even be teleported to a different plane of existence. It has happened before.
That it has. We understand the risks. I appreciate your help. I'll take the bit of parchment, pass it back to Cora.
All right.
Well, there you go. Maybe no help, maybe of great help. I don't know.
Well, it's just a matter of finding out where it goes.
Precisely. Hopefully, once you've
Do you?
You
that
may be
spell
able
of
to.
yours.
You may be able to find some use with the identify spell. It is a long shot, but most rune codes have some arcane trace within them,
That's right,
their
because it has
origin.
to go. It has to patch into a ley line.
And it leads to a destination precisely. You're quite bright, young one.
Thank you.
The identify spell might aid you in your travels. Is there anything else that we can help you with?
Yeah, so you've got a replica of the staff. Is that the only replica you've got?
It's one of many replicas that are stored in the vault. The staff was one of the few items that we felt would be safe with our protective magics in place in order to prevent someone from stealing it. But quite evidently, it wasn't good enough.
I don't suppose I could perhaps borrow one of your replicas.
What would you want to use it for? It's just a replica. It doesn't have any properties.
Because if we find the real thing, it might just be able to be swapped.
Oh,
You know, the old
I
statue room?
understand. A little what's the phrase? Sleight of hand, of course.
Precisely.
Yes. I will try to find one of them for you just now. And Callum, the young boy, kind of takes off. He's
Of course,
a good
the
lad.
other option. The other option is if we find the person holding the real stuff. If we've got one that's identical to it, we might even be able to convince them that they've got a fake.
Absolutely right, Neftari.
It just gives us a few options having a replica. Are they good these replicas? How easy is it to tell?
As you ask the elderman gentleman, Callum, the young boy, comes back and brings out a second, a glowing white staff with the encrusted gem at the top. Carolina, can you go ahead and roll me an Arcana check, please? Because
Yeah.
you have actually never, you may have heard of or seen this object before.
Actually, episodes past, I was able to identify its at least significance.
Of the
That
staff
it
of
being
Karsus,
the magic stick, not
Yeah,
just a magic stick.
not just a magic stick, the magic stick. So yeah, 16. Like you'd heard of it, and you couldn't really say for sure that yes, this is the thing that they were talking about. But the moment you see this replica, and like you step forward and take the copy and look over it, and yeah, this is it's not too shabby. It is a replica after all. It does have a little bit of an arcane charge in it that you can sense innately. So it is magical, but it looks kind of close to the real deal. These guys did have the staff of Karsus, the magic stick.
I mean, this is almost close enough. At least from a distance.
If you can fool the wench that took the staff from our possession and return it to us, we would be most appreciative of your work, saving us for a second time, as it would.
All right, and Nithari went the staff, so I will pass it to him.
Okay.
I'll take a quick look over it and put it in my pocket.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah. Just, um.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a D10 almost on the floor. Yeah, no, you're just and it's gone. You've managed to fit it into one of your pockets of holding. Back of your head, do need to be careful. Extra dimensional spaces can only fit so much. If it ruptures, you're kind of fucked. So you need to watch out what you're putting in your pockets.
Just need to be careful as I put it in.
I know.
Just kind of
That's what she
sort of
said.
into a big sort of like bottomless hole.
Anyway.
Almost.
Just spit on it first.
Watch how you handle your staff.
Is there a correct way to insert my staff into my pocket?
You go tip first.
It went very, very slowly.
You kind of go like the first few inches. You hang on for a second. You try another couple inches.
Beset on all sides by idiots. Moving swiftly onwards from these quite blatant innuendos. The elderly elfin gentleman. Callum, be good lad and escort our saviours outside, where I'm sure they have much work to do. Of course, master. Is there anything else that you would require of us before you take your leave?
No, you've been very helpful. Thank you.
Of course. Please, follow me. And he kind of gestures you out back the way you came in through the larger hall. As you're walking down, here's
Can Cora be taking this time while she's walking to like kind of she's kind of looking at the rune code and trying to identify it, like going through identify ritual, or do you want her to stand still for that?
you would need to stand still to concentrate on the ritual instead of walking, so you'd have to do this once you get into like a
That's
place
fine.
of rest. As you're
That's fine.
walking down, you're just kind of looking over the rune code, trying to memorize it and stuff, just in case something bad happens. But and as you're walking down, Callum, well, it does kind of interfere with our work when the most powerful arcane artifact of this plane of existence does kind of get wrenched from your grasp. And frankly, it'll come into some use when the time comes. There's a soft click from just ahead of you. As you kind of glance around, Callum has just stood there, sick grin on his face. It's too bad that my mistress wants to deal with you personally. But seeing as you have returned and seeing as you are here, may as well take the opportunity to be rid of you here and now.
Not again.
Oh boy.
Takes a few steps back, away from you all. His body kind of twists and contorts. Starts to transform. You've actually seen one of these creatures before. As I try and find it in the monster manual. Where the fuck is it? Oh, it's back page, isn't it? Yes, there it is. His body starts to, like, the clothing starts to strip down from his form. His skin starts to almost glow and burn to a bright red color, black wings kind of jut out and sprout from his back. His two large black horns kind of protrude from his head. His face kind of cracks and splinters, and a snout begins to form. He then drops his right hand towards the floor with a crack. A whip of energy built of pure fire just spawns in his right hand. Drops his left hand down, and a blade of what seems to be condensed lightning appears in his left. He raises his right hand. There's the crack resonates through the hall as the young boy Callum transforms into a Baylor. And at that, we will call tonight's session.
As this is happening, Talara's one of her hands engulfs in flames as she's preparing a spiritual weapon.
Okay. Please note down anything that you would like to do in preparation. There's not going to be any surprise round next week or anything like that. It is just going to be straight initiative as you deal with this souped up Baylor. Yeah, that's it. After 2 weeks of a hiatus because of scheduling and crap, but we should be back in action as of now. Anyway, before we all decide to disappear and stuff, or like go and do our own thing, I do have something that I want to show you all. This is going to go on to the Scriblio scene that I have, which is just my secondary monitor. Now, a couple of people have already been privy to this because I am very self-conscious about getting people's opinions on stuff, but I did tell you guys that I had something in the works which is going to be kind of awesome. It should be ready to go in about a week's time, and we just have a draft to begin with. But feast your eyes on the new Dragons and Dungeons logo, which will be update to the channel, the YouTube channel, the Twitch channel, the YouTube channel will be used for thumbnails. It'll be used for intros, outros, all sorts of shit. There's going to be the logo. There is a thumbnail design. The font itself is going to be released to me with the capability of adding episode names, numbers, titles, all sorts of shit, and designing everything around a brand new logo for the channel.
Fancy.
That's
Awesome.
awesome.
So, hopefully, in the next week, give or take a week or so, that new logo should be up and running. The designer drafted that up in about an hour after chatting with him on Fiverr for his work. I almost immediately fell in love with it because I personally think it looks fucking badass. And payment has been made, and that the font, everything should be with us in the next week. So hopefully before next week that will be done and uploaded and everything ready to go. Otherwise, it'll be the week after. But that, alongside some other stuff for the YouTube channel with a new video that is actually currently in production. Actually, no, 1, 2, 3, 4 videos that are currently in production. 3 are on the chopping block for editing. 1 is actually no, then so it'd be 5 videos. I can't count. 3 are on the chopping block for editing. 1 is still in process of script writing, and the other one is in recording. So a few things in the works which should be done in the next week or so, I'll say. But editing and stuff, schedule, work, free time, and everything is currently getting in the way, unfortunately. But with that, I'd like to bid everyone a good night as we call an end to the stream. I hope you guys all enjoyed the session, and we will catch you on the next session, adventurers.
Woo!
Have a
Alright,
good evening.
Bye.